Hey, welcome everybody to Faithful Politics Podcast. I am your political host, Will Wright, and I'm joined by your faithful host, Josh Bertram. And this
Hey there,
week,
Will.
hey, we have 0 guests this week.
That's weird.
And it does feel kind of weird. Originally, I was going to do this podcast by myself, which is even weirder. To like just talk to a camera or a microphone. But we wanted to reach out. We wanted to talk a little bit about what we've got going on, kind of in the works, and just general, cleanup. If we got a lot of emails, I would call this our mailbag episode, but none of you guys are emailing us, which you can, by the way. Actually, we've had a couple emails. Not a lot of them are good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I understand that.
We won't keep.
We need to get like a complaint like email that they can like if you have complaints, send it to this email. And we'll just give an email that we never check, and then like it just gets emptied every month automatically, and they can send it to there.
Yeah, I have an email like that. I have a Proton Mail account that's called for spam only.
What is Proton Mail?
It's like the signal of email. Basically, it's like this encrypted email thing that is supposed to be super top secret, whatever. I don't know. It's like a lot of people in the 4chan world use it. Not that
nice.
I'm a part of the 4chan world, but
nice. You are at some level.
But it's the email address, and don't quote me on this. So like if you're listening to this and you're trying to like email it to see if I check it, I don't. But it's the email address that I give out to like websites that require you to have an email address. And I just don't want that stuff to get like I don't want it to fill up my.
That's genius.
Yeah, my inbox. So, there you go. There's a life hack for you. But
nice.
Yeah. So, we're after the holidays. How was your holiday?
You know what, man? It was good, but it was nothing like the fried turkey we had at your house. It was amazing.
Yeah, I know how to do it. Yeah, you
really do, man.
There was like a few pieces left that I had in the fridge that I heat up like a couple of days later, and it was still super juicy. It was so good.
My goodness.
Yeah. Deep fried turkey.
That was my nickname in college, dude. Super juicy.
Really? Oh, what a small world. That was my stage name back when I was on a stage regularly.
Back when you were doing drag story time.
Yeah, and I was trying to work my way through college. I mean,
yeah, it makes sense.
Now that Biden's going to pay off all my student loans, I kind of feel embarrassed.
Well, what's the point, dude?
Yeah, I mean,
come on, Biden.
It's the experience of being on a stage is priceless, and lots of fodder for my kids.
Well, I feel like a picture of you doing drag story time would be like worth millions of dollars.
Yeah, there are pictures around floating of me in like high heels.
No.
True story. Yeah.
How do we find these pictures?
I don't know.
I just Google Will
4chan.
High heels. 4chan. Maybe I shouldn't Google that. Don't Google that and go to images, or do.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. So recently I came across something called Gays Against Groomers, which which a good friend of mine sent to me.
Sounds like a smart friend.
Yeah, and reading some of the stuff and hearing some of the stories about they're teaching middle schoolers how to perform oral sex on other boys or something like that. I'm like, whatever, I just thought this was just part of this. Like,
yeah, it's the conspiracy theory, dude.
Like people just putting this stuff out there in the ether and seeing who picks up on it. So like I like a good, like if COVID's taught me anything, it's how to do good research, right? So like, I went on,
do your own research.
Yeah, I went on the Google machine, which was a bad move by me. I should have used DuckDuckGo, but like, but I'm typing in like things in the search engine, like like 10-year-old boy.
That's not...
And like, and Google's like, you really shouldn't be doing this. It's like there's like a warning that came up, like at the top that says like, you know, whatever child pornography is illegal, and like just all.
And you're like, yeah,
you know,
I know. What are you saying?
All these states and stuff, and I'm just like, oh my goodness! Like Google thinks I'm like a predator, like I'm part of the QAnon conspiracy, you know, and I'm just
Oh my
out to
gosh.
get their, you know, adrenal chrome glands or whatever. So anyway, so now the next Google search I did was basically like, how do you clear your search history forever? And you know, and I don't want to make light of like, you know, any sort of inappropriate
Of
child
course.
adult behavior, but I thought the experience of me researching this article was important just for me just to be factually informed, and
Yes.
the article that I found, like it was like true, like there was a school where there was, you know, some books in the library that had this stuff, and you know, I don't know, I mean I think we all have to draw a line somewhere, and I feel like
Yes.
my oldest is 9, you know, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't want him to find a book like that and
Me neither.
in the library, which would be weird because he homeschools too, you know. So like
That would be weird if you found that book in the library, dude.
to find that in the school's library would be strange.
You know, dude, I just hope that we don't get canceled, dude, by the Illuminati, because that's
Yeah.
who's really canceling people.
True. It is. It really is. Yeah,
And
but
Tupac is at the head of it. That's all I'm saying.
that's what I heard. Yeah. So good. So holiday went good. Got a chance to spend time with.
Holiday was great, man. We hung out. Yeah, we had fun. Good Turkey Day. So played a lot and like watched a lot of football. Hung out with the family. So it was nice. How about you, man? What'd you guys do? Did you say?
Yeah, we didn't really do much. Because after we had our Friendsgiving on Thursday, on actual like Thanksgiving, we went to a bar,
Nice.
that had like a special Thanksgiving like meal, and we took our kids, and they had like this all you can eat prime rib, turkey
What?
dinner or whatever. I mean, it was delicious. I mean, for a all you can eat, like they just bring it right out to you, and the thing is just like it was on point.
Were there a lot of people there?
Not really. No, I mean, like we went around 4 or 5 o'clock, and you know there was probably, I don't know, maybe like 20 people in this bar, like families and other people that you know are just hanging around. And so Margaret and I thought, hey, like this should be just like our normal like
Thanksgiving tradition, dude.
we do Friendsgiving, you know, with like some of our close friends, and then we do Thanksgiving at this bar. Because it was so easy, like we didn't have to really worry about cleanup or anything like that.
That's
and,
nice.
You know, like we don't have family, so just for our listeners, you know, so I live in Virginia. My wife's family lives in Indiana, and all my family lives in California. So we don't have any family here, so it kind of makes sense, like for our purposes. But yeah, and then we just after that played a lot of video games with the kids and
That sounds awesome.
and whatnot. So yeah, it was really good. So, you know, but it was a good time to just reflect a little bit. And I think outside of all the other stuff that I'm just normally thankful for, you know, I can't thank our listeners enough for I don't know, just sticking it out with us. You know, like we have.
Yes, absolutely.
Looking at the metrics, and for anybody thinking about getting a podcast, like metrics for podcasts are all over the place. So based on what I can gather, we have a core set of diehard, faithful politics listeners that will listen to it the day it comes out. You know, and then that number just grows over time because we normally release our episodes on Tuesdays at midnight. And we've got like a pretty worldwide listener base. So like if you're listening to this in another part of the world, like we thank you. We really, really appreciate you. We wish we knew you. We've got a lot of different ways people can reach out to us. I mean, we've got our email addresses, which is on the website. We've got a Facebook group, Facebook page, Twitter. There's different ways to reach us. And,
yes,
I'll be posting Josh's personal phone number on Twitter later today. So you can reach out.
Don't forget Social Security, dude.
Yeah, Social Security and his high school mascot. So really, like if I can, like be of any service to you, or if our show can, or if you've got ideas for guests, or comments, or you want us to make connections with our guests, like we want to be a part of that process and help facilitate it. Because we did have one email, one in particular. Actually, it wasn't an email; it was a comment on a YouTube video during our series during Pride Month, and I could tell the person spent a lot of time thinking about what they were going to say in this YouTube comment, which seemed really random. I mean,
right.
But I read every single comment people leave on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, or whatever. So, but this one in particular, I felt compelled to really respond back to, because she had some issues about like your views about transgender, whatever, or she read into the interview we had, something that I personally didn't see or read into, but that's not to say it wasn't there, but she felt that. So, I just engaged with her. I told her, hey, here's my email address. Like, let's keep this conversation going. And we went back and forth a couple times. And I said, hey, like, I know Josh, like, I don't, the thing that you're sort of accusing him of being, or the opinions he's having, I don't think are correct, but like, let's just keep this going and we can get Josh in the mix, and the conversation kind of fizzled off of that. But, so I'm really appreciative just when people give me, feedback, good, bad, or
yes.
So yeah,
and they're engaged in the content.
Yeah, I mean, because that's
awesome when people are engaged in the content.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the whole point, right? I mean, like sometimes
absolutely,
we'll have a guest on that people actually absolutely hate, whether it's on the left or the right, and they'll want to kind of do their quick drive-by post on social media or YouTube or whatever, and again, like if you go to YouTube and you see where people left comments, like I do my best to try to respond to every single comment.
You do a great job. And
then when there's moments to have civil dialogue, I really try to lean in, because at the end of the day, like that's the whole idea of our whole podcast, right? Like the world would tell me I'm supposed to hate Josh, because he's white, he's Republican, he's conservative, he has a Confederate background. He voted for Trump, he's into all kinds of stuff that I'm not necessarily into, like football. So I really want to engage.
You should definitely hate me.
I should. Yeah. Cause I was going to ask you, when you said you watch football, like the World Cup was happening too. So were you watching that
real
football? Oh, real football?
Yeah.
the original. Oh. I guess
American football.
Yeah, wouldn't it technically be like handball?
I know. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I think it had something to do with when they used to kick, like how they used to kick, or like what they were able to do when it first began. But to be quite honest with you, it doesn't matter that much, and people can go look it up if they want, and figure it out.
It's
that may not be at all why it's called football. So please don't cancel me because I didn't get football right.
Yeah, it's like
for the
football is all a
reasonings.
punter. It's all a punter's game, right? So like,
Punter, kicker, yeah, you know. Well, I guess you're allowed to kick it. I mean, you are kind of allowed. Like there are some weird, obscure rules in football that you wouldn't even imagine that are there that nobody does, but they're still there somehow. You know. But I agree, Will. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to do this. I mean, the ability to talk to the people, the opportunity we've had to talk to the guests that we have has been really amazing and has really helped me during even a time when I wasn't necessarily preaching as much in terms of to a wider audience. This has really helped scratch an itch that was there, and it's been such an awesome experience, and we're going to keep going. This is just the beginning. I feel we have some amazing guests that are going to be coming on, and the more listeners we get, and kind of the bigger it gets. I mean, it's not huge by any means, but the more it gets, the better, and not better. That's not the right word, but the more well known guests we can get, and the easier it is to get guests. I mean, we've had some pretty well known guests, which has been amazing, but it just even gets easier. Normally, that's just because they believe in what we're doing. The more we go, we're going to get more and more awesome guests to come on. So we're just I'm excited about the future. And
yeah,
in 2023.
I would even go one step further and say, outside of the caliber of guests, because I mean, the caliber of guests, it's very subjective, right? So somebody that we would be really excited about talking to, would be on somebody's most wanted list, of people they hate. I think having the guest on and talking to them about their field of specialty is just great, just from a learning perspective. But then
oh my goodness,
for the folks that are, maybe talking about more controversial topics, I think this is the part where we really have a chance to shine. Because number one, we don't have an agenda. We don't work for a media organization, or, we're a Republican and Democrat. So I think we sort of kind of keep each other in check. But when we
can say whatever we want, basically.
Yeah. And we can really, get into the weeds and talk about why somebody believes the things that they believe. And I think our guests kind of feel welcome and more comfortable, because they're like, okay, well, it's not like I'm saying this on Joe Rogan's podcast, and also it gives us a chance just to kind of really get to know the people that, might be getting this reputation. So I'll give you a really good example. When we did our series on CRT, we had two professors on that actually taught critical race theory, at the college, one at Berkeley and one at Yale. And then we had James Lindsay on, who is very vocal against CRT. I mean, so much so he got banned off of Twitter. But it's pretty active on Truth Social, and
that's funny.
I remember when we chatted with him. I mean, one, he seems like he's extremely intelligent. He kind of knows what he's talking about. He's done his research. Him and I may not necessarily agree with the application or the purpose of critical race theory, but I always tell people, no matter what you think of the guy, when we stopped recording, he was just the nicest dude. I mean, we were talking about families, and he was just a normal person. And, I had just emailed him recently, just asking him for a favor, and he's like, yeah, wish I could help you, but I can't, I think that sometimes people just get this sort of persona, that they see on social media or, one of the cable outlets, and they forget that at the end of the day, this is an individual that, puts, I don't know, wears clothes like the rest of us. And I don't know,
Absolutely.
it's just trying to make it in this world. So,
yeah,
really
it reminds me, no, totally. And it reminds me of this, if you really so if you're a huge fan of CRT, right? You love it. You agree with it to the to the core of your being. Then you should number one, listen to our podcast. Number two, listen to the James Lindsay episode, and then look into some of his stuff. Now, I say this is just an example. Think about even a bigger kind of more philosophy of life. If you can't engage with the best of the critics, then you should start to question be critical of your own belief. I'm all about critical theory in terms of actually critically thinking brought to our own beliefs and our own interpretations. And then also when we're looking at others, that we're not just like, we basically make these assumptions. So if you're on the side of CRT and it's like, it's got a wave of popularity or whatever you want to say, it's acceptable at this point, then it's easy to be okay with CRT. It's not when you'll get flack, when you get kicked off Twitter, when you'll get all these different things. It's not easy. And those are the people you want to pay attention to, because those are the people that have to have good arguments most of the time. Now, obviously there are pundits and stuff like that, but engage with the best. And that goes for anyone who's not, again, if you haven't actually engaged with or read the original stuff and engaged with it, then you don't really have a grip of what's going on. And it's just an encouragement for all of us, man. Like, we get so tied up on stuff, and we're unwilling to go outside of our circles. And it's a left and right problem, big time. It's just an American problem. I'm sure it's outside of America, obviously, but that's our context. It's just an American problem right now.
Yeah,
Anyway, I'll step off my my high horse now and get down to the
No, I think that's good. And sometimes I have to put myself in check, because I don't know if this is a proverbial issue that a lot of other podcasters have, but I don't know how many times a week I get a text message or some sort of communication about I should have, so-and-so person on the show. My response generally, if I agree, is I say, okay, if you can get them to contact me, I will start the conversation. Or if you have a connection, I will, definitely entertain having them on, because one, it's a lot of work to book guests, which we'll get into a little bit more later. But so if there's someone out there in sort of the world of faith and politics, and they have a voice that they want to express an idea or viewpoint, and want to come on a show where they'll get questions from both sides of the political spectrum, I think that's pretty brave, versus kind of, just sticking in your silo, or your vacuum where you don't get any other sort of interaction with any other political or religious, sort of like viewpoint. But I had somebody ask me once, like, would you ever have Trump on your show? And at first, like, I was like, yeah, of course. Like, but then thinking a little bit more about it, like, I said no, because I don't know if he has anything left to say. Like, I'm one that has followed Trump for a long time. And he does play a lot of the greatest hits, and he's very predictable. I don't think he's got any more to say. But then I think to myself, like, well, is that just the like liberal in me talking? Like, does he really not have anything else to say, or is it I just don't want to hear from him anymore? And then I had to wrestle with that, because I was thinking, well, like, I don't want to get into the point where I'm just, inviting people on that agree with me, or I agree with them. Like, I want to be challenged. And then I was trying to think to myself, like, would I be challenged if Trump wanted to come into our podcast? Like, because I know for a fact I wouldn't try to, like, play catch up, like, aha, I caught you, like, in this lie or this whatever, like, because that's never really been our focus. Our intent is just to, like, really talk to people like they're humans. So I don't know. Like, what do you think? If we could book Trump, would he be a good guest?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think anyone you can book that, you know, who would be running for president, I would say whatever they say, they should get on and they'd be a good guest. But I would love to have Biden on it. I'd love to have anyone, honestly. Although you did mention to me like potentially having a Satanist on, and that kind of scared me a little bit. But at the same time, I got to figure out what's going on, my friend. I just can't say, well, that's just crazy, you know, and not let them speak especially after that, you know, I just made that whole, you know, monologue about, you know, about listening to other people and dealing with the greatest arguments and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting one. You know, I for sure, I definitely, yes, I would have Trump on. And I know that, you know, it can seem like such a, you know, a pipe dream to think about, like having someone of that fame or infame. Is that a word? Infamous. Yeah. Either way you go, having someone at that level on. But, you know, it is possible. You know, we never thought we'd get to where we were when we started this, you know, even to the people we've been able to interview now. So who knows what the future is going to hold. And I know that you and I have talked about the vision of where we're going, you know, the things that we're trying to get to, the way that we see this podcast going. And, you know, I think that, like, I know that you've had some ideas even of moving into this, you know, like this is coming out on Giving Tuesday. We're going to talk about it. So like we can get there, but it's going to require it to move beyond us, right? Financially, it needs to move beyond you and I are funding everything. Mm-hmm. It needs to move beyond even just it needs to move beyond in terms of booking guests and stuff like that. There's a lot of ways that I know people can help, right? And I know that you've put together a list and stuff like that of what we might need. But I think that I believe in this vision, and I think other people believe in the vision and the mission of what we're doing. And so, how do you think that? What do you think? How do you think people can help as we're moving forward in this?
Yeah. So, you know, one thing we've been sort of noodling on is, I mean, like the podcast in of itself is one vehicle that can sort of exemplify like what we really want to see manifest into the world. And in other words, it's like, you know, we are practicing what we podcast about, and we welcome criticism, because it gives us an opportunity to kind of stretch that patience muscle and engage with people. And, you know, we want to have sort of like another vehicle. I shouldn't say another vehicle. We want to upgrade our engine, so to speak, to this vehicle, and be more intentional about how we go about, you know, making the world a better place. So one idea that we're going to be, you know, throwing out, or revealing, of the day that this podcast is released is something called Project Indivisible. And for a little background, you know, the word indivisible, you know, has some weight to it. And I hope that when people hear that word, it riles up something in them. The definition of it is actually unable to be divided or separated. So that's sort of the official Merriam-Webster definition. But it's, you know, Project Indivisible is basically going to be our sort of charter, if you will, to try to make the world a better place, one conversation at a time. And, you know, we hope to kind of do that in a lot of different ways, capacities, forums, events, what have you. But also it's you know, one part of the project Indivisible is becoming a nonprofit. So Right now, we are not a nonprofit. I wouldn't even say it's fair to say we are a for-profit.
We are a loss.
We are
losing and spending money.
Yes.
So, out of our own pockets.
Yeah. So, part of it is just this large scale kind of fundraising effort where we hope to, solicit donations from individuals out there that can help us fulfill our stated goal. And in order to achieve that goal, we believe the best vehicle is to become a nonprofit. Because, I don't know about you or anybody else listening, but it's like when people ask for money, I'm always thinking like, well, what's in it for me? If I donate to this organization, am I going to get a tax write-off? And if not, that may change how much I actually give.
Now they can donate to our church, Short Pump Community Church, now River City Underground. They can donate to that, and it is tax.
True.
They can do that at shortpump.church. But anyway,
that's true.
All that to say.
Yeah. Now, if they donate it to River City Underground Church, could any of that money be used for Faithful Politics?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. We'll have to have the lawyers check in on that. But anyways,
get the legal team on it.
Yeah, get our legal team all over it. So Project Indivisible is going to be something everybody will see a lot more of here in the next coming months, years. It's not necessarily going to be a project that we feel will ever be complete, so to speak, because we just think there'll always be some level of divisiveness, vilifying the other. But if we can do just a small part, I think that we can sort of like sleep better at night. And also there's an opportunity here for, some of our faithful listeners to actually, be sort of on the ground floor of what it is that we're building. And
yes, absolutely.
To just feel good to know that, hey, I invested into this organization, I helped them get off the ground, and become, this entity that's trying to make the world, the country, the community, a better place. And we have had a few people donate already. I mean, since the podcast started, we've had about 5 individual donations, which is great. I mean,
absolutely.
It helps pay for honorariums for guests if they have one. It also helps pay for like the upkeep for the show. So our operating cost for the show is roughly around $2,000. And that comes out of Josh's and my pocket. I mean, fortunately we both have full-time jobs. But still, it's, we both have families. So, but we really
have to pay for prime rib Thanksgiving dinners, dude.
That's right. I mean, somebody's got to pay for it, but
yes,
but it's like, it would be great if we can sort of, just get other people to kind of help in that. So we have a stated goal of about $5,000. We are optimistic we'll get there, and we think that, with that money, it will be enough to at least get us started on the legal process to become a nonprofit. At this point, we're thinking of a 501c3. Once we start having those conversations with people in the legal part of the world, they may say, okay, well, what your podcast is, it may be better as a 501c4. We don't know, but the money that we get is all going to go towards helping us decide that. Your money will also go towards paying for my verification on Twitter, since Elon Musk requires us to have $8 in order to be verified.
Thanks, Elon.
I'm just kidding. I've been paying for that myself because I've been feeling very unhuman because every time I try to apply for verification, I keep getting denied, even though Ted Lasso has a blue check mark, and I'm like, he's not even a real person. But anyways, don't need to go down that rabbit hole. So, some of the other things that we
and you use Twitter to do a lot of advertising, to do a lot of connecting with guests and stuff like that. So Twitter is a big part of what we do, social media expense and the expense of advertising and booking and things like that.
Yeah, like you can consider sort of Twitter like my outreach, if you will. I mean, I do a little bit on Facebook, but really, like, I just use Facebook for close friends and family. So like if you've tried to add me on Facebook and I haven't accepted your request, like please don't get offended. Like, I need to have some closed loop of people, but maybe if we got to know each other a little bit better, I'd invite you in the tree of trust, So, but I also think that with the money, we could also host seminars, forums that are focused about, getting to, having civil dialogue about issues pertaining to faith and politics. We can do media literacy training, voter registration campaigns. Even help other podcasts that are doing similar things as ours, because it's like, however the saying goes, like, rising seas lifts all boats or something like that. I forgot how the idiom goes, but
yeah, that's it.
But I was Army, not Navy. And then also, like, helping other folks become a part of our team, such as like, helping with booking or social media management or what have you. I love to hire staff, or at least a paid intern, somebody that's like in a local college that's, doing media, study, and I can give them a part-time job over the summer because there's plenty of work to do. And currently right now it's only done between Josh and myself. So I think that would be really, really useful and really kind of help us focus more on just, the guests and not, having to turn out these episodes really, really quickly. I mean, heck, if we had help, we could probably do 2 episodes a week, or, maybe a short one every day. I mean, really, like the possibilities are endless if we had, much more funding. But like I said, right now we're looking for people to partner with us, and we're going to be fundraising. And you'll find a link to our fundraising site in the show notes. And you can also catch it on our website as well. So, we'd love to kind of have you partner with us, both with Project Indivisible, and then also moving towards, just trying to do more for the community. But here's a question for you, Josh. I know your thing is more faith and politics. Where in the Constitution is the word indivisible found?
I don't think it's in the Constitution.
Oh, you're right. Good job. Oh, I wish I had a little ding I can give you like credit for.
That was in the Pledge of Allegiance.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. Do you know the Pledge of Allegiance?
I think I do.
You want to give it a
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's awesome. Do you know any history about the Pledge of Allegiance? Like, why do we say it?
It was made in like the 40s or something like that, and I don't know, maybe it had to do with wartime, and they want to make sure that people were pledging allegiance and not being Nazis or communists. What was the reason?
Yeah. So the Pledge of Allegiance was actually written back in like August of 1990 or August of 1892 by the guy named Francis Bellamy. And I won't give you the whole sordid history of it, but it was really written to kind of like push magazine sales.
Nice.
Yeah. And because like he was actually a socialist minister, by the way, and the Baptist, and the original form of the of the Pledge of Allegiance didn't even have the word under God in it. Oddly enough.
Wow.
Yeah. So back in like the 1890s.
You're about to get canceled by the Christian nationalists, bro. I just want you to know that.
I know. Well,
Totally canceled.
So like it was originally published in the this magazine at the time called the Youth Companion. And it's kind of like it's like the equivalent of Highlights magazine. Remember that magazine? Did you ever have that? Highlights? Oh, anyways.
Highlights?
Highlights, yeah.
No.
Anyways, so it was this real popular magazine, and they had this like push, like the owner of the magazine wanted to put flags in like every classroom in the country, and part of this magazine was, people could buy flags, like or I can't either they buy flags or they get a flag if they subscribe to the magazine. Anyways, one way or another. They wanted to kind of push flags and then push magazine sales. So the guy asked, Francis Bellamy to write up something that can kind of tie into this. And they tied it also to Columbus Day, which was coming up very, very like quickly. and it was like the 400th? Yeah, like 400th anniversary of Columbus Day or something. So they want to tie all these things together and basically, push some product out there in the schools. And the term under God actually didn't enter into the Pledge of Allegiance until 1954 under Eisenhower. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Yeah, and he wanted to do it. He wanted to do it in response to like the communist threat at the time, because those secular atheists, Russians,
communists.
So that was sort of like his I guess response to it. But one last thing I'll mention about this is if you were to say the Pledge of Allegiance back in, I'm going to say like 1920s to 1930s, you would have said it. You would have said it like this. Let's see. I gotta make sure you can see me, and I'll describe to the audience what I'm doing. You would be saying it just like this. I pledge allegiance to the flag. Like basically, like my arm is outstretched, palms are facing upward, and you would have to kind of keep it like that the entire time that you're saying it. And it was changed in like the 40s. Because it looks awfully similar to the like Nazi salute.
Yes.
So like
very much.
So they they used to call that the Bellamy salute. And then like the Nazi regime, basically, took ownership of it. and like in I want to say it's like 1942, like Congress codified like the flag code, like the United States flag code, to incorporate like hand over your heart, and then remove any like non-religious headgear or what have you. So yeah, it's really crazy. Like when
Wow.
you think about this thing that we say, like every day in the classrooms or at the start of every congressional session, that like it's this weird thing, this weird historical thing, custom that we do that really doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you start to peel away at it. But in the 3 iterations it's had, well, I guess 2, like it was written once, it was revised to include like I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, because it didn't used to say flag of the United States. It used to say flag. Like it was written to actually be very open and accepting of other cultures, but then it got changed to the United States, and then it's changed again to include under God. But there's one word in there that really has remained unchanged, and that's indivisible. And it's the origin story of what it is that we're trying to do. So Project Indivisible, not being not being separated, not being divided. It's made it through all the iterations of the Pledge of Allegiance. I thought it was significant, and it's hopefully what we accomplish kind of in our mission moving forward. So
absolutely, man.
Yeah, so there you go. Some Pledge of Allegiance history
trivia. You're gonna be now. You guys can be the ones that win at that weird game, the trivia game at the bar.
That's true.
So hopefully you can remember it after your fifth drink.
Yeah, I've got a lot more to say about the Pledge of Allegiance, but I won't bore you anymore because we're already a lot longer than I thought we'd be. But like I said. We will be rolling out our Project Indivisible at the time of you listening to this. Yesterday, so if you're listening to this on Tuesday, on Monday,
yes.
we will be rolling out our online merch store. I've had a few people actually ask me about some of the different like T-shirts I wear, or like the T-shirt that Josh has on, Faithful Politics T-shirt. And so we're rolling out a merch store. Just know this, like all the designs you see on the merch store are unique. I created them all. Like anybody that knows me knows I've got like a closet worth of like 200 different like types of T-shirts, and I keep a running list of different types of T-shirts I want to make on my phone. So like if I have a great idea, I'll just jot it down and I'll get behind the computer and make it whenever I can. So know that all of those ideas are original in some form or another, created by myself, and hopefully I can get some other people on board. If you got an idea or design you want to throw past and submit it as maybe part of your way of helping the show, that's great. We don't get a whole lot from the sales of the shirts or the other items on there, but every little bit helps, and I enjoy making T-shirts anyways. I'll also make sure I include a discount code on there that you guys can use to get a little savings for being committed listeners. So cool.
Sounds great, man.
Yeah, got any last words, Josh?
Love you guys. Thanks for everything.
Yeah, thanks you guys. And we will be back here next week with a guest. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And thanks for listening.
Thanks. Bye.